What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great day. Getting into this episode of GH. Liso and Anna sitting back having a conversation. It was not on my bingo card for this year. Them being somewhat cordial. It was so funny when Liso saw her and said, "Hello, Scarecrow." I said, you know what? Liso got issues. I love her because, as much as Liso has changed over the years, like she grew softer over the years. Like I love that her and Anna are like cordial. They're in that, like that phase of bitch. I remember what you did, but I still, you kind of cool now. Kind of like we cool with each other. Like we tolerate each other. I ain't gonna say cool, but we tolerate each other right now. But that shit was funny. She called her Scarecrow. That shit was hilarious. I love their little conversation, because they pretty much reflected on their parenting, you know, because they both acknowledged the wrong that they did with their children. Obrecht wished that she could have, loved on Britt differently growing up, when she was raising her. Like she wished that she wasn't so hard on her, and that she could have been a lot softer with her. Anna wished that she didn't put the WSB over her daughter. She wished that she could have found a different career path, and put her kid first. But at the end of the day, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You can't go back to the past. You know what I'm saying? All you could do is correct it, and at least they both have done that. I will give them that. It took some time, but they corrected that shit. Obrecht and Britt got a lot closer. Anna and Robin definitely got a lot closer over the years, and they have a great relationship now. That's all that matters. Anna calling Carly to tell her about Jocelyn, because she was like, "Oh, I gotta tell you something about Jocelyn." Once Brennan heard that, I'm convinced Brennan had Anna snatched up. I'm convinced, because he knows that Anna's been looking into their operations. So I'm pretty sure Anna trying to talk to Carly is no coincidence to him. He probably figured like, oh, this chick about to out our operation. She about to put the whole damn thing in jeopardy. And he couldn't allow that. He done had her ass snatched. I'm convinced he did that. Jocelyn had to come up with some little story about needing to go out of the country. She had to come up with a cover story that Carly would believe, because at first Carly was like, why would you need to go to Australia to help a family friend? Like, she was like, your father could easily handle that. He could make a phone call and help your friend out. But she was like, nah, the friend was, a good friend of Lady Jane, so I feel like I need to do it. Plus, she came up with the excuse that she needed to get away from Vaughn, like she needed a little distance or whatever. Carly was still looking at her with a side eye, like, yeah, this story don't make sense, but I'll buy it for now. She was like, oh, I'm proud of you and whatnot. Because Jocelyn's little cover story was bogus. Like, straight bogus. I mean, a donkey could see through that damn story. All the way to Australia to help a friend that Carly ain't never heard of before. Nope. I wouldn't have bought into that nonsense either. Absolutely not. So anyway, moving on from that. Gio is pretty much, letting it all hang out. Like, as far as how he feel about his family. Because he was like, he missed Lois. He missed the Qs. But he's still not at that point where he's ready to reach out to any of them. Like, he's just not ready. And he don't know if he ever will be. And I just feel like he need to put that anger to the side. Like, I could understand why he not ready to talk to Dante or BOQ. That is understandable. I get that. But Tracy, Ned, Olivia, he should be contacting them, because they are the ones who really had no idea about none of this. They had no clue. So he should be contacting them, trying to get to know them, because they're just as innocent in this as he is. You know what I mean? Like, they were blindsided just like he was. So I would reach out to them. You got to start somewhere. They're not the enemy here. They're not the bad guys. You have to start somewhere. Him getting involved in this whole breaking into the lab situation, I get that right now he feels like he has a lot less to lose than Emma. And that's a man right there. I'm telling you, he might be a boy, but he grown into a man, because the way he's stepping up for Emma, that's a dude that love her. Like, you talking about doing breaking and entering for a chick, that must be love, because who else is going to do that kind of foolery for somebody that they just cool with or hanging out with? Hell no. So you're going to commit a felony? Like, Not for no friend. Like, he definitely into that girl. Got to be. Because I ain't going to jail for nobody. Nathan. Absolutely not. And he really willing to do this. And Emma didn't want him to do it. She was like, no, I'll do it. But he was like, no, because you already got 2 strikes on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could get locked up or you could get sent back to California. And Gio was not about to let his boo go back to California. He was not about to have it. I think that boy would lose his mind if Anna and Robin and Patrick decided, okay, enough is enough. She cutting up here, she cutting up there. Just let her bring her little ass back home. Gio not having it. He said, I can't risk you going back home. He said, nope, no can do, no bueno. Not happening. Hopefully he don't get caught. I really hope that boy do not get caught. I hope not. Because that'd be just bad for him if he got caught. But then again, if he did get caught, that would put him in Dante's crosshairs. Because I'm pretty sure that would force him to have a conversation with his papa. Which is long overdue. You need to talk to your papa. At some point, y'all got to clear this. And then he bumped into Chase or whatever on his way out. Chase is in a very pissed off mood right about now. Because BOQ wants to put off the adoption. Like, not indefinitely, but she want to put it off. Like, she just don't want to get into that right now. And Chase was irritated. Because he was like, what you mean you want to put it off? Until how long? For how long? She talking about, I don't know, because, she just want to fix things with Gio. Try to get closer to him. She don't want him to feel like she's trying to replace him. And Chase is understanding of that. He gets all of that. But what he said was very valid. They both have valid points. She can't think about adopting a child when the one she gave up is pissed at her. They don't have a relationship. She can't think about the other part right now, which is understandable. I can get that. But I also get Chase's point because he had a valid opinion about it too. He was like, that could take years. He was like, it could take years for you and Gio to get to a place where y'all cordial with each other. So he's supposed to just sit back and wait years to have a child? I don't blame him for being a little upset about that. He's trying to respect his wife's wishes and what she wants, but everything can't always be about BLQ's timeline and what she wants. She has to start considering what he wants. I just feel like ever since this whole secret came out or he found out about it, everything's been about what she want and protecting her and doing what she want on her timeline. What about his? Marriage is 50-50. You know what I'm saying? You got to meet him halfway somewhere. At least start talking to agencies. It's going to be a little minute before they adopt officially anyway. The least you could do is start looking into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, BLQ whole personal life is about to be one big ass mess because you got issues with your son. You about to have issues with your husband and he been supporting your ass, sticking up for you when everybody else been all up in your face. He been the one getting up in their face on your behalf. So it's like at some point you need to start doing for him. You know what I'm saying? Doing things he want on his time frame, not just on yours. I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that. Cody at the hospital looking into this mole. I'm like, boy, he's still trying to find out what this mole is on his back. Ever since Molly pointed it out, he been obsessed with finding out about this mole. I'm like, why don't you just leave it alone? So come to find out, the shit ain't nothing but a freckle. I'm like, you know what, Cody? I ain't got time to play with you today. I don't. I ain't got time to play these types of games. You over here worried about a mole. Christina up in here trying to up their game or whatever, they game plan against Ava because she want him to go to phase 2 or 3 of the plan, meet Ava at the at Alexis' office or whatever and go out for martini. She even offered him an extra $10,000. I said, hell yeah. You better take that. That's free money. And Ava not a bad looking chick. Oh, yes, take that money. You still, walking a fine line because Ava ain't nothing to play with, but for 10 grand in this economy, hell yeah, I'll take it. Free 10,000, just take somebody out for martinis and break them up. Shit. Listen, you got me at 10,000, but his mind's still on Molly because he trying to figure out why she came at him the way she did because she felt it was, he felt it was personal, but Christina trying to downplay it. Tomorrow she's still mad about her and TJ breaking up and it wasn't nothing personal. He said, nah, that felt personal. I wonder what he gonna do when he find out Christina had been engineering all of this. Like, cause she playing the hell out of him, even though he getting some good money out of it. But she been using the hell out of him, playing him and playing Molly at the same time, just for her own agenda. Like, I really hope Molly slapped the shit out of her, because you over here playing God with this girl life. Like, she's starting to finally, fall for somebody new, and you over here messing with it, all because it interferes with your little plan. But it was nice though watching Molly sit down with her dad for dinner and whatnot. They sitting around talking about her new book, because he was excited for her. He was like, "Oh, what made you get back into writing, Cody?" She didn't want to say it, but that's really what it was, because she was talking about doing I think like a romance western or whatever. But now she done changed the plan now that her and Cody on the outs, so it's gonna be something a little different. I hate that for her, because she was really getting excited about this, about the original concept of the book, and getting excited about Cody, and now that's been kind of dashed thanks to her little foolish ass sister. But she was honest with her father as far as Ava, because she was like, "You want to talk about it?" He was like, "No, I don't want to talk about it." She was honest. She was like, "I think you could do better than Ava." And I mean, Molly has a right to her opinion. I mean, everybody's not gonna like Ava. That's just because I like her, and I do. But everybody not gonna like her, So I get why she don't want her father with Ava, because that shit is toxic. I ain't gonna front. I mean, they got good chemistry. They look damn good together, but they are toxic. And Elizabeth walked up or whatever, so Molly, she was like, "I'm gonna give y'all a moment." She knew the exit. So Liz pretty much told Rick about what Willow was doing or whatever, that she not following his legal advice as usual. And he trying to get Liz to talk to Willow, because she need to follow his advice. You know what I'm saying? He feel like if Willow want her kids back, Willow need to start acting like Liz, basically. And I get where Rick is coming from, because Liz would be more sympathetic, when it comes to a judge. Like, a judge would sympathize with a Liz, you know what I'm saying? Because Liz got that nice face, nice personality. But I feel like also with Liz, the reason Liz sympathizes with Willow so much is because Liz, as we all know, Liz has done a lot of shenanigans herself over the years. Like, she's done some despicable shit. You know what I'm saying? Switching DNA, faking nervous breakdowns. Like, Liz has done some shoddy shit over the years, so I think she could sympathize with Willow. Because it was a time where I couldn't stand Liz. It was a time, like some years back, I couldn't stand that heifer. But over the years, I've grown to like her. Like, her line. I remember when Drew first came to town and she found out he was Jason, and she lied about it, act like she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Just so she could keep Jason and stuff. Like, Liz has done some horrific shit over the years. So I think she can relate, to Willow. And I think that's why she sympathized so much. So Molly and Rick pretty much asked her if she wanted to stay for some souffle. I said, "Yeah, you gonna stay. You getting some free souffle, you better stay. Listen, I'm off for free." Like, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm gonna sit there. So anyway, moving on from that, Ava is hatching a plan. She got her plan ready. She want her and Alexis to team up against Rick. She was like, "Listen, you need to make one more payment, 1.5 million, and then we cut Rick ass out. We cut him out." And she's offering to give Alexis the key, to where she got the evidence stashed. Alexis don't trust her, and I don't blame Alexis, because I mean, Ava's definitely not a trustworthy person, so I get where Alexis is coming from, because I wouldn't trust her either. But I would be like, "Listen, you gotta give me that key first." Like, or at least, not give me the key, but at least, like, take me to where the evidence is. Like, prove to me, like, give me some type of proof that I can trust your ass, like something. You know what I mean? Because this is gonna get dicey. Because if she gets that evidence, they could cut Rick out, and there's nothing Rick can do about it, because he doesn't have that evidence. So even if he made an allegation, there's no evidence to back up the allegation. But I love how Ava came up in there and told Alexis, like, "Oh yeah, well, I don't plan on giving you the money back that you already given me." I bust out laughing, because I said, "I know that shit right. I wouldn't have gave a dime back either. Fuck that. I mean, we could partner, but I'm not giving you no money back." Ava's funny as shit, because that's so real though. I wouldn't have gave no money back. Hell to the no. That wouldn't have happened. I ain't giving you back $1. No bueno. So yeah, I don't blame Alexis for being on the outs about that, because I'd be a little little shifty about it too, about making a deal. So anyway, moving on from that, Britt is sitting here looking at, photos or whatever of Rocco back when he was a baby, and then looking at him now all grown up and stuff. I don't like this story. I really don't, because this is so dumb to me to bring this up now, trying to act like, Britt was, like she really bonded with him, like that was her son for a time. Like, girl, you stole the boy. You stole an embryo that created the boy. Like, are we gonna just gloss over that fact? And now you want to see her, oh my God, he's got so big. He was never your son, honey. He was never yours. So now she calling around because she getting tired of being cooped up. Can't go nowhere. I wonder who the boss is. Honestly, at this point, I figure it need to be Jerry Jackson, somebody, because God knows I ain't seen Jerry Jackson in ages, and I would prefer if it was him. But she was like, oh, y'all need to get in touch with Greta because we need some more stuff, because I guess the other batch of data that they got is not complete or whatever, so they need more. But yeah, she just getting so irritated being stuck up in there, and she done got herself into some mess. I wonder how she even got involved in all of this. Like, I can't wait to hear the backstory on this one. Like, how the hell you get involved with these fools? And who is the boss? That's what I want to know. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Peace.